Today I'm going to America's most isolated town, Point Roberts, Washington. And you might be thinking to yourselves, well, what makes it so isolated? Hold on a minute, guys. We just started the video. I'll get to it, jeez. Point Roberts is one of 3 rare places in the United States called a pen exclave. And no, Google's AI, pen has nothing to do with penis. I wasn't even thinking that. Okay, yes, I was thinking that. This basically means you have to go through another country to practically access it. And with national border security and the Pacific Ocean surrounding it, this town of 1,200 people is very secluded and also known as the safest place in America. Until I go there, of course, because nothing I do is safe. Before I set sail to Point Roberts, flying and driving, let's give a little history lesson on why Point Roberts exists so your IQs can be nice and high before I inevitably dumb them down later in the video. It turns out, actually, Point Roberts was made by a complete accident. Like me. In 1846, the Oregon Treaty formalized the border between the U.S. and British territories in the Pacific Northwest, specifying that the border would follow the 49th parallel. And sorry, colonizers, I like the first 48 parallels and the book better. The negotiators were smart, though, because everything would follow the 49th parallel besides the Vancouver Island, of course. But I was actually lying about them being smart because they looked over one huge problem. After the border was established and while surveying the line, the British government realized that the peninsula of Point Roberts lied under the 49th parallel and would go to the United States. And I don't blame these guys for their lack of geographical awareness in the 1800s. I can barely fucking color within the lines and drive without a GPS. Now, the next question you might be posing yourself is, Joey, do you still color? Do you use color books a lot? No, but I would like to a lot more. But anyways, the next question you're probably thinking about, why does the United States still own Point Roberts and why isn't it just a part of Canada? Well, I could bore you with a lot of trivial details, but the short answer is the United States called dibs and there's no takesy backsies in the 1800s. And that's basically it. This initially was never a big deal when people didn't live here as the border was created, but it has become a big talking point in the 21st century due to it being incredibly cut off from the world during 9/11 and the pandemic, with greater security and bigger delays after 9/11 and the border being closed to non-essential travel during the pandemic. Now, the average person might be thinking, well, what if the United States just gave Point Roberts to Canada now? Then everything would be solved, right? Wrong, they can't do that because we did a pinky promise in the 1800s, and that's legally binding. As a person who cosplays as a professional time waster, I've always wanted to go to Point Roberts since the only thing that's more safe and isolated than there is the Cleveland Browns Stadium whenever the NFL playoffs are on. Now, my hometown of Cleveland is pretty far away from Point Roberts, Washington, and there are 2 ways to get there. The easy way, but that's boring as shit. So we're doing this the hard way, baby. In a 3-step process I call masochism. I first woke up at 5 a.m. and as many of you know, I love waking up early so much. That's sarcasm for the folks keeping score at home. And flew to Minneapolis, Minnesota with a quick layover before flying into Seattle, Washington. And I thought Seattle was a lot closer to Point Roberts because, you know, they're both in Washington State. It shouldn't be that far. But that's why you should look at maps, kids, because it's 3 hours away. And that's assuming that you're going to get through the borders quickly. And oh yeah, borders is plural for the people keeping score at home still. I'll be going through multiple borders today. 3 hours is a lot farther than 30 minutes according to my microwave clock, which for some reason you can cook something that long like my small chicken pot pie. And for those of you who are asking, yes, I am okay, but my chicken pot pie was not. But secondly, I did get to drive through the beautiful and lush Pacific Northwest, border number 1. Let's cross it now. Before getting to my first of 2 borders today.
Dude, I'm gonna need to see a valid passport.
And I was gonna film it, but honestly, I am kind of a bitch. So instead, here's literal proof that I made it to the other side.
1 border down, 1 to go, and then I'm back in the United States again.
And honestly, the first border wasn't so bad, and everything was going pretty smoothly until I started to feel very lightheaded and was getting super confused until I finally realized Canada doesn't use miles; they use kilometers.
Dear God, dude, what? What does that even mean? I don't have a calculator. What am I supposed to do, math on this trip?
This is borderline crazy for me. Get it? Borderline geopolitical comedy.
What? What is that? What the f is a meter?
I'm borderline allergic to non-confusing measurement systems. If it makes too much sense, I don't like it. But I was just being dramatic again, as my drive through Canada only lasted 28 minutes before getting to my second border of the day.
Hello. Where you headed?
Point Roberts.
Where's home?
Cleveland, Ohio.
You drove out from Cleveland?
Well, that went well. I got really confused because he asked where I was going, and I was like, I'm pretty sure Point Roberts is like the only place I can go.
And apparently I didn't really mind filming myself here because the Border Patrol agents were a lot chiller here because they're just guarding a town of 1,200 people.
Yeah, Miles!
Finally, I wouldn't have to see a kilometer again the rest of the day. Hey everyone, it's me here from the future. I didn't see a kilometer the rest of the day, but I did see liters at the gas station later. And I don't know about you guys, but liters really give me anxiety. I'll probably bring it up to my therapist tomorrow. Okay, back to the video.
Yeah, kilometers.
2,500 miles of flying, 3 hours of driving, and 2 national border security lines later, I was finally here in Point Roberts, Washington.
I don't know, I guess I'm gonna explore Point Roberts. Because that's the premise of this video, if you remember.
Although by far the least practical way to get here, I don't mind, because I do it for the plot.
Did you like staring at my chest right there? All new on the Siriat store, do it for the plot t-shirts. Wow, that was a great transition. It's almost like I planned it. I know I might be a little biased because these are my t-shirts, but they might be the greatest t-shirts in world history. And guess what? They're embroidered. Ooh, look at that. Look at that embroiderment. I just scratched my nipple. But yeah, comes in a lot of cool colors. You should get one in my totally unbiased opinion. Okay, thanks. Back to the video.
As I said earlier, Point Roberts isn't that big. It's not the entire Sawasan Peninsula. I think I said that correctly. One sec.
Sawasan.
Sawasan. I think I said that right. It's not the entire Sawasan Peninsula. It's just the tip.
Hey, yo. Wow, you're a baby deer. Oh my gosh.
And while driving around for a few minutes, I started to realize it's definitely not as big as I thought it was. I can't even tell if I'm inside or not.
Hey, yo, what the fuck?
Sorry. Point Roberts has one restaurant, a couple coffee shops, a marina, a golf course, one grocery store, a UPS, and a postal office.
Okay, the post office here doesn't have postcards.
That doesn't make any sense.
And it's funny, the lady there was like, yeah, we don't have any postcards, but a lot of people have been asking. And I'm like, yeah, that makes sense.
I then went to my Airbnb, and the street I was on didn't have a lot of houses on it. Like, this place seems very underdeveloped, further proving my point that there's a lot of seclusion here. Good for my reputation and the plot. My spot for today had a beautiful view. Oh, and I don't know if I've touched on this a lot because I've just kind of been talking about random shit that pops in my head, but Point Roberts is majestic. Like, yeah, this place may be isolated, but there's also plenty of reasons why you would want to come here. I'll get to that later in the video, I think. And if you're wondering why I'm saying that Point Roberts has 2 equal sides and the angles opposite of the equal sides are also equal, that's not what isolated means. I believe you're thinking of isosceles. Isolated means far away from other places, buildings, or people. Semicolon, remote. Period. I'm not kidding you guys. I was about to feel the full effects of being isolated and remote here pretty soon. But at the time, I had no idea anything bad was going to happen here pretty soon, as I was just happy to be settling into my pretty cool Airbnb. I only have 18 hours on this peninsula thing. Very on-brand move for me. I'm gonna have a great time figuring this place out and why it exists. Okay. Also, I got a microphone. That's why it sounds really good right here. I had sent an email to Point Roberts Park and Rec Department and asked if they had any paddleboards for rent, and they said I could just use a paddleboard for free near one of the beaches, which is super great because Point Roberts has 4 public beaches and a bunch of oceanfront access, so I'll have a lot of places to go paddleboarding. It's not super great when you go to all the wrong beaches because you can't find the paddleboards.
There are people kayaking. Where do they come from? I want to join you.
And also, I had 0 service on the peninsula, so I couldn't get in touch with the Parks and Rec Department. Maybe I'll just get lucky for once. Hey guys, it's me here from the future again. I didn't get lucky. But finally, I went to where they were at Maple Beach, and I passed it 5 or 6 times. And it's not your fault, guys, at the Parks and Rec Department. It's mine. I lack geographical comprehension, just like the fucking people that drew the boundary. I got my GoPro with my mouth mount. And also set up my iPhone on a tripod on a sandbar. And this is where the bad stuff happens. That was a pretty stupid idea. Because the thing about sandbars is, one minute they could be there, and the next thing you know it, they could not be there. Unfortunately for me, the decibel, the elevator music in my brain was extremely loud at the time. I'm not even kidding right now.
I don't know where my phone and tripod are set up. Hopefully I just drifted and they're set up normally, but there's a good chance that my phone is in the water right now because I don't see it anywhere.
You know, like my phone, the thing I film 95% of my YouTube videos on, the thing that makes me communicate, the thing that is my GPS and my only way of getting home tomorrow. I was basically in another country, and there was a chance I'd never see my phone again, and it would just be washed up in Canada. My phone miraculously was still working, not great, but it was working.
I don't have much confidence that's going to continue to work. I can't believe I just did that. Paddleboarding was fun though. I pray my phone just like keeps working. I know the audio sucks right now, but damn, I'm a fucking idiot. I am so dumb. I also need this like incredibly badly to get back to the airport. I have no idea how to get back there. I have no idea how to get through the two borders.
But it wasn't charging and it was gonna die soon. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, like, you know, it's not that big of a deal. You know, the only way it would be a big deal if I was in one of 3 pen exclaves in the United States, this one being the most isolated town in America. Shit. I also felt a lot of guilt in the moment, mostly because I've been in Point Roberts for about 4 hours.
If you want to know how my mental state was right there, I literally just brushed my hair and then immediately put on a hat. What?
With very little evidence that this place is so isolated because I haven't really explored it a lot. I also haven't uploaded much recently and I feel really bad about that. The reason why I filmed this video so last minute was because I botched another video I was supposed to get out. It's a bad day to be a hot dog, ladies and gentlemen. I was trying to see how many Costco hot dogs I could eat in 12 hours, but after getting nauseous and almost barfing in hour 3,
this is a bad idea. This is a mistake.
Pepto, please sponsor me.
I don't want to do this. Costco hot dogs 1, Suriyat 0. Damn it.
I decided to scrap the video because I felt like my life was important. So it's kind of why I booked this trip super last minute. I got to Point Roberts in the afternoon one day and left the morning the very next day so I could get to editing. But at the time, I thought there was nothing that I could work on because I didn't really film a whole lot. Little did I know that that was pretty good for the plot. But in the current moment, I wasn't feeling great about it.
So my phone doesn't really want to charge right now because there's water in the port. So hopefully it decides that it wants to charge soon because my phone might die here. Not good. This is a bad day right now.
So I did the only thing I could think of that would help me feel better. Eating horribly. The International Marketplace is the only grocery store in Point Roberts.
This might be the only grocery store in Point Roberts. I hope it is open.
And it felt like a literal ghost town inside.
This is like a ghost town.
I'm used to living in a place that doesn't have 1,200 people with national border security and a base surrounding it with a bunch of geopolitical complex forces at play. So this is very confusing to me. But alas, oh, I love when I use alas. Great word. I spent $50 on junk food that I barely ate. Oh, and also, I don't buy eggs very often. Is $6.69 for a carton of eggs expensive? I feel like it is, right? Egg people, show up in the comments. I went to go spend more money and got gas, and that's where I got really confused, and I felt like I was about to pass out again. Because there were liters at the gas station. What does a liter even mean? What does 47 liters even mean? I did what any sensible US of A citizen would do and pulled out the old calculator on my phone while wasting some of its precious battery. Saw that I only spent $4.34 a gallon. That's a lot. And even worse, I lost 50 health points from the trauma of dealing with liters.
Why are we using liters in America?
I was so traumatized, in fact, that I left the gas pump in the vehicle as I was driving off. Just kidding. That was a joke. I never do that. Also kidding, because I did that in the last video.
Hey, so I might be the dumbest person of all time. This is honestly maybe the dumbest thing I've done this year, which is saying a lot. The connection is not very good in Point Roberts. It's almost like it's the most isolated place in America.
Instead of eating the junk food I got for no reason other than the fact that I have free will and I can, I went to Kaniski's Reef Tavern, the only restaurant on the island that was open. And fun fact, this restaurant is owned by former Canadian professional wrestler Nick Kaninsky, who I got to meet actually and is a super nice guy. Shout out Nick. However, unlike professional wrestling, the scene that I was currently in was not staged. Please don't beat me up. I'm in the most isolated town in America. My only way of getting out of here was my phone, which was dying. I was not doing doing well with this and the fact that there's a good chance I could be stranded in Point Roberts. For now, my feeble and easily distracted brain distracted myself from the inevitable and got the Taco Tuesday special Nick recommended to me, a house smoked beef brisket taco, a house smoked pulled pork taco, a chicken enchilada casserole slice, Spanish rice, refried beans, and honey jalapeno slaw. So even though I was sad at the time, I'm a simple man and most of my problems can be easily solved by having a big plate of food. There are 5 stages of losing a loved phone, and I'd been going through the first 4 stages before getting to the final stage, acceptance. I had a GoPro on me to film still, and if my phone never worked again, so be it. I'd eventually figure out a way to get home, maybe, I don't know. And if I had to stay here a little longer, at least I was eating good food while doing it and also being in the safest place in America.
I don't really know what to do. My phone's dead. Fortunately, there's like 3 main roads in this town, so I think I can get back. Oh, I feel like such a letdown with this video. Some things out of my control. Some things were in my control, like not placing my phone on top of a body of moving water. I don't know what to do. Oh well.
And maybe it was my positivity. Maybe it was the literal last minute Hail Mary I sent up to try to get my phone to charge again. Maybe it's the literal phenomenon water undergoes while being in the sunlight and heat called evaporation.
Oh my gosh, I just said a prayer and the prayer worked. My phone is charging. It's a Christmas miracle.
But whatever it was, when my phone was on 1% and about to die, it started to charge again. Looked like that worked. Hey, can I have $1 million next? I had felt new life on the Sawasan Peninsula. Sawasan Peninsula. As I left my resuscitating phone in the car to charge back up and go to another nearby beach to watch the sunset amongst other Point Roberts residents.
I just want to say the people of Point Roberts are really, really nice. I think about 75% of the people here are Canadian, which makes sense because Canadian people are freaking awesome. I love you, Canadians. Thank you for being so nice to me.
You guys know when I do these trips by myself, I can get a little isolated. And when you happen to be on the most isolated town in the United States, that can be even more isolating. So I think even though I was in this place, I didn't want to isolate myself, and I talked to a bunch of people, and that really helped. I stared off into the beautiful sunset for a little bit over Vancouver Island before eventually realizing the sun wasn't actually setting. That was wildfire smoke, and it was heading towards me, so I should probably get the hell out of here.
Yeah, I should probably go.
But before going back inside, I wanted to do one last thing in the daylight in Point Roberts. Something, in fact, that you could not experience safely in very many spots of the world.
I'm going to go to the U.S.-Canada border right here and just, I don't know, just see what's up, I guess. Why not? I'm here. Might as well. I've had a crazy day. I can do whatever I want. I am in the United States. On the other side of that street right over there, that's Canada. That's crazy. I'm not allowed to be there.
In fact, I was able to go right up next to the borderline of the 49th parallel and step over it if I really wanted to. Even though it's incredibly illegal, and if the Department of Homeland Security is watching, I never did.
These are my Canadian friends. Well, you're in Canada and I'm in the United States. And right here, this is the border. Look how crazy. That's insane. All right, let's take a photo.
I went as far as to shake this woman's hand on the other side of the border and had her mom take a photo of it with my phone from the Canadian side. So even though about 3 minutes ago my phone was saying bring me back to life, no evanescence, it got to border hop immediately after. Wow, what a comeback story. I think we can all get inspired by this, especially when one day AI and robots take us over. And after going pretty far but not crossing the line, more geopolitical humor. I hate myself. I talked to some more locals here for a bit, drove up and down Roosevelt Way.
This is the United States, that's Canada. United States, Canada, 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 America, America, America.
And if you couldn't tell, I really thought this was cool.
Oh, this is literally where I just checked in. This is the Border Patrol. Oh my gosh, I need to get the hell out of here. My light is on, I'm such a narc. Turn the light off!
And after doing that for a questionably legal amount of time, it was 9 p.m. and I was looking to simmer down on the island and get a drink somewhere. But then that's when I realized everything on the island closes before 9 p.m. and there was nothing to do. Everything was shut down. And maybe, just maybe, that's the whole point, Roberts. The whole point of Point Roberts is maybe there isn't a lot to do. And as somebody that does things sometimes, not doing things is also freaking awesome. I hadn't done much today. In fact, I've barely focused on enjoying my time here since I was too preoccupied with my stupid phone and if it would ever work again. The draw to being here could be the beautiful scenery. It could be the marine life, like orcas that I didn't know were even here, even though I've literally filmed it earlier in the video. It could be the really nice people. But the thing that really drew me to Point Roberts and why I like it so much is that it's one of the most peaceful, safe, and unique places I've ever been to. And maybe I didn't have to do anything to get that point across. More comedy.
The more time I spend in Point Roberts, the more I'm just amazed that a place like this exists. Like my brain just cannot fathom it right now. And maybe that's the whole point. I don't know, I was trying to say something cool there to end the video, but it didn't work.
I know what I like, baby, I like you. This American pie with the high IQ. Oh my, I do. Just fly right through. We'll get high as a kite in the afternoon.
Oh, and also before I forget, I had to repeat my travel schedule the next day, but backwards, and travel 3 hours to Seattle, going through 2 national border securities, flying to Atlanta, and then flying back to Cleveland. This is my second border crossing of the day in like 20 minutes, and my 4th in the past 24 hours. I'm looking at you, Guinness Book of World Records. So don't call me a professional dumbass for nothing.